From the bowling capital of the world, America's #1 bowling show. Championship Bowling. From the Firestone Bowlerama in Akron, Ohio, it's Championship Bowling. Hello, everybody. I'm Fred Wolf, along with Bill Bonetta. Two more of our field of 24, the world's greatest professional bowlers in match game competition, with a prize fund of over $70,000. This week, it'll be Carmen Salvino from Chicago, Jimmy St. John from San Jose, California. Our statistician, as usual, Sam Baca, one of our alternates. And, Bill, it looks like we're going to have a pretty good one here. Inside and outside, is that the way you put it?
Yes, Jim St. John has acquired the tab of Mr. Outside. And Carmen, of course, is ex-cranker, who's learning how to roll a ball, and marvelous actor and a good performer, so the match should be proved very interesting to all of us.
Well, we always say, as we look at Carmen here, that as far as acting, there is no one in his category, but he's going to throw a bowling ball here this week. And Carmen, in practice, is it Mr. Inside? Are you going inside?
Fred, I'm not bowling these lanes inside. In fact, Jim, oddly enough, is further inside than I am. We're going reverse this time.
You're going to reverse it. Jim, is this true, or are you going to the inside?
Well, Freddie, I was practicing more inside than what Carmen was, but about the last 20 minutes, I moved back out a little bit, so I'm going to try it there and see what happens.
You do change this, you change this often, really, sometimes?
Well, sometimes I do when I'm not hitting the pocket very often, and that's what the reason was why I moved back out a little bit.
Of course, you're the fellow in the World's Invitational a couple of years, introduced this first board from the right side, and you've given that up here
this
week?
Well, I can't play that line here, Freddie. The ball just doesn't seem to want to hook as much from out there, so I'm in by the second arrow now.
Well, let's see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. We're standing by for the first game of 3 on Championship Bowling from the Firestone Bowlerama in Akron, Ohio, the home of Firestone. Carmen Salvino winning the toss, electing to start on the left side. Lane 23, all games start from the left, one frame. Then the activity moves from right to left, our right to our left. Salvino doesn't get there. The 1, the 2, and the 4. And I believe Carmen is playing outside, at least in the first frame here, Bill. Never seen him out that far.
What amused me mostly is the little interview we had. The question often asked is, the bowlers try to psych each other. I like to have the viewing audience draw their own conclusions. Carmen was talking about his line and Jimmy St. John's, and then Jimmy said no, he wasn't going to play that outside line, and so on. So I just wonder if they're using a little psychology here.
Well, Salvino covering the 1, 2, 4 in the first frame. The AMF Spearmaker indicated the ball between the 1 and the 2. Carmen, of course, carried that out. Here's a little fella that throws so much bowling ball. Jimmy St. John from San Jose, California. Former Chicagoan. Big turn. There it is. Well, I guess you'd call that about a 3/4 outside, wouldn't you, Billy? Wasn't to the extreme outside, but certainly was not inside.
No, that was what we'd call a normal angle, over the second arrow area. Jimmy is quite an explosive bowler. For a little man, he puts a lot of finger lift on a ball at the explosion point, just over the foul line.
For a quick double, he doesn't get there, the 2 and the 5. In practice, just before airtime, Bill, Jimmy has some concern here on the left lane, lane 23. He says that when he moves out, the ball jumps. When he moves in, we had a good idea of what happened there. It just didn't finish.
Yes, so we've noticed that in practice sessions, that lane number 23 gives the boys a little bit more difficulty than 24.
The 2 and the 5 on the outside, and he covers the spare. So St. John with the first strike, unable to get the double, as Salvino now steps in here on the right side. A Chicago product, born in the Windy City back in 1933. His wife, Ginny, a great bowler, averaging 190. There it is. 10 pin out. Well, there was a very good shot of the 6-pin doing its job, going into the channel, Bill, and the neck of the pin actually tipping the 10 right at the base.
Carmen has made quite a change in his delivery. He used to walk way to the left and circle back, we call it, and finish just about where he started. But now he's learned to walk straight as can be and hitting the pocket much better.
There it is. Well, Carmen going through his antics, of course, demonstrating that he just threw a bomb. Nice ball, Carmen. Says he couldn't believe it. St. John on the right. Salvino off quickly with a double. The turn. It's there. And now St. John will move to the left. And already, Bill, he is getting himself into a mental situation in that he admittedly tells us that he's having trouble on the left, and he's starting the match off with 2 strikes on the right and moving now to the left again, trying to get that double. Now, will he make a change? Too high. Well, that's the pattern. He didn't get there in the second frame, left the 2-5, and this one he just cranked it a little, and as he says, he has 2 places on this lane. He either doesn't get there or his ball moves too quickly.
He should try to keep hitting 24.
St. John now, 20, 40, 60. A spare in the 4th. Salvino out in front with the double. We're in the 4th. Solid 10. Oh, there was nothing wrong with that one.
No, there wasn't. Now, that hit appeared to be much better than the one he carried before. As you described it, the 6-pin wrapped right around the head of the 10-pin this time. I think the speed was a little excessive, but Carmen is a fastball bowler anyway. It was a good hit.
At the 10-pin, Salvino covered. Here's a fella that when he was 16 years of age, shot .738 in the American Junior Bowling Congress. It's an all-time high that still stands. He averaged .203. Gotta hustle. There it is. Well, that could very well be 4 in a row. A solid 10 between a double and a single strike as St. John steps in on the right side. We're halfway in the first game. Solid 4. Well, maybe when Jimmy moves left, Bill, this time, he won't be on the strike, and he may just be able to get himself down to normal and get that big load off of his back.
Sometimes this happens. You try so hard on the lane you're not hitting that sometimes it's a good idea not to carry the lane you've been hitting and relax a little bit more. For example, in Jim's case, on 23.
Just a little careless, and St. John just went by the 4-pin. So at the end of 5, for St. John with the miss, it's 88. Salvino is 89 with a strike in the 5th. That's better. There's a 10-pin. Well, I was wondering if missing the 4 might completely disturb him over there, but he threw that ball very good.
Yes, he did. Even better than he had before. Sometimes the bowlers check their delivery on a simple spare like a 4. As you said, it was a little careless, but maybe he was checking something. Perhaps a let-up shot.
The 10-pin, just routine for these fellas, as Salvino now will try to get back on the strike track. Now, Carmen may be thinking of that 10-pin, then again, it may give him enough confidence to throw another one in the same spot. There it is. Oh, that could be 5 in a row. Bonus money, a solid 10-pin between two doubles. As Salvino moves to the left. All of our field of 24, the world's greatest professional bowlers on championship bowling, wearing King Louis bowling shirts. You know, you can wear these same shirts. King Louis bowling shirts. One more. Too high. 4-7. Just a little tight, a fast move there at the last moment.
Carmen is indicating that he didn't get the ball out in front of him as much as he'd like to. Cut it a little bit short. They have little signals which we recognize, and Carmen just indicated just that.
Pin was still on the pin deck, and Carmen definitely threw that ball differently, though, because it was rolling over the thumb hole all the way down. 1, 2, 4, 10. This is called the washout, and that's the first time that St. John has been out of the pocket here on the right side. That was a slider, Bill.
Yes. As you mentioned, the mental aspect of this game is extremely important for these fellows who are performing the 3-game match. They've grooved a rather consistent swing, but sometimes mentally they're thrown off.
St. John. That's the same fella that missed the 4-pin on the same lane. We move left at the end of 7. Salvino, 137 spare. St. John is 104 spare. That's better. Nice kick. The 10 is out of there. So Jimmy may be building up a little confidence now. He's hit that pocket on the left side twice.
Whoops.
Carmen seemed to have that one in his hip pocket.
Yes, it's right back to that timing feature. Carmen had his feet up to the foul line before the ball, and he just didn't have time to pull the ball through.
The 2 off the 5, the AMS Spearmaker, of course, indicating the ball between the 2 and the 5. Carmen got it just a little bit left, and he is open, and that's a life for St. John. A double by Jim can pull himself within 9 pins of his opponent, who got away from him early, leading by 29 pins at the end of the 5th frame. We're in the 9th. Let's see if he can do better with it this time. The 2-4-5 again.
Unfortunately, what happens sometimes, Freddie, is if you pick it off one way and then you sort of over-adjust next shot, you might slip by on the right. So we'll watch to see what Carmen does on this 2-4-5.
How do you compare this fair, Bill, with the 3-6-10?
I would rather shoot at the 2-4-5.
Whoops. Well, he missed it again, and he missed it, of course, farther to the left that time, leaving the 5. So Carmen has missed the 2-4-5 in 2 successive frames, as St. John now will bowl out first, and Jimmy can still pull out 2-14. He's on a strike. Still room for bonus money. 5 strikes in a row in any one game. Doesn't get across, and he leaves the 6, the 9, and the 10. You know, one great advantage in bowling is that the whole family can participate. Now, many fathers bowl with their sons in father-son leagues. There are also junior leagues, bantam leagues. The whole family can bowl together. There's room for everyone at your nearby bowling establishment, so why not take the whole family? It's great fun, believe me. Of course, right now, it's probably not too much fun for Carmen Salvino, who has missed the 2-4-5 in successive frames. St. John filling in the 9th, trailing by 8 pins. We go into the 10th frame. Looked like Carmen was going to be long gone, Bill, the first 6 frames.
Yes, had he carried that one in the middle of that string, I think he would have been on his way.
Short again, 2-4-5 with company.
Jim's going to make it from the left.
Nice shot. In other words, from that extreme left side of the approach and left side of the lane, Bill, the tendency to clip the 2 off the 5 is cut down considerably with the angle that he used. Of course, if that ball don't come back, he may leave the 8 from there.
I've seen the professionals shoot that from any one of 3 different angles, and
that's better.
As long as they can make it.
There we are. Well, St. John's been in 3 times now in the lane that he just feels is getting the better of him, and he told us this in practice. He might work out of it. Salvino, too high, and he's wide open, the 6-7. So Carmen finishing a little badly. Looks like 3 opens now.
Well, we've seen that so many times, Freddie. What would you do, or what would I do if left the 2-4-5, 2 consecutive frames, and then you're up in the 10th frame, hoping to keep a lead? Had to make some kind of adjustment.
For Salvino, who had 154 in the 7th, open frames in the 8th, 9th, and 10th, his game is 181. For Jimmy St. John, 180. From Akron, Ohio, it's championship bowling. We'll be right back for the second game of 3 after this word. It's the start of the second game of 3 from Akron, Ohio, the home of the Professional Bowlers Association. It's championship bowling. Jimmy St. John opened with 180, too high. Kicked out the 10. He has nothing but the 3-pin. Salvino, 181. St. John, 180. Both boys having their problems. Salvino, after getting away beautifully, picked the 2-4-5 in the 8th, in the 9th, and a wide open split in the 10th, the 6 and the 7. St. John covers the 3-pin in the first frame. Salvino moves in on the right.
Now Salvino will be thinking about a new shot again, I'm sure. Trying to get his delivery compact.
Well, it's a little frustrating when you go 3 frames and you're open 3 times and finally get that line back, and then, of course, have to shoot at the 10-pin.
This is one of the constant challenges, Fred, in bowling, and actually that's what makes this a delightful game. If everything worked out perfectly all the time, we would enjoy the game of bowling as much as we do.
In 2, Carmen.
I believe he said he was glad to see a mark.
Yes. After 3 opens. Let's take a look, Bill, at Carmen Salvino now in slow motion. We want you folks to pay some strict attention here. Well, he kicked the 5-7 out of there in pretty good shape. The solid 10, of course, prevented Carmen from getting away again with a double. First game looked like at the end of 6 frames we were going to see a big one. But 3 open frames in a row are pretty hard to pick up. Here's Jimmy St. John trailing by only 1 pin. Nice turn. There it is.
Well, you can call that one when he let go, didn't you, Fred?
Beautiful lift and follow through.
The viewing audience may be watching the right elbows of these boys. Lately, the boys don't push the ball out quite as much as we used to. What we call a controlled push away.
Out there, there's the slider. Now, St. John actually has been bowling fairly well on the left side, the lane that he's so concerned with. But he's been going over there on spares. The minute he goes back there on a strike in the first game, He went over there in the second and the fourth, was short both times. Now the 1-2-8. The AMF Spearmaker indicating the ball crossing the head pin. Going on through. And Jimmy just went too far. A miss by St. John. He was on a strike, cutting him off at 46 in the third. Salvino on a strike. Short leaves the 2-pin.
Actually, Carmen didn't, what we call compress himself in a third step. He didn't get down enough. You have to get down in order to get up to get the lift. And Carmen was rather erect at that time. It's what we call
de-elevate. Yes, I heard that. That's a cutie. There's the spare for Salvino. I believe that came from out the West Coast.
Yes, it did. I kind of laughed the first time I heard it, but it explains the motion. That is, you should get down on a third step, even before if possible, so you can raise the body slightly when you lift the ball.
So you must de-elevate. Get it up. There it is. Well, that almost surprised Carmen. That's the old accordion ball. So for Salvino, it's 60. He's on a strike, 20-40-60. Carmen hitting the left side, but not carrying the right side. St. John, of course, having most of his problems on the left side. We're going to go to the left on a strike. This will be the fourth time that St. John has moved left on a strike. And he has been short most of the time. The 1-2-8, the 2-4-5, and the 2-5. He's got to push this one up. He did. On the nose, now the 3-10, the baby split.
Well, Freddie, I certainly don't mean to imply that the bowler shouldn't adjust, but there seems to be a tendency lately to over-adjust. We've watched that many times in matches, and especially in practice, too, that the bowlers will have a tendency to go light, and then the correction factor is overdone, and they go too high. We've noticed Jim St. John alternating here. Carmen did it last game.
Nice shot. St. John turning in the 3-10, 66 to spare in the fifth. Salvino now on a big strike. He's got to make it count. Careful. Too high. Look out! Oh! Boy, the Angels were flying. At the end of 5, Salvino's on a double. St. John is 66 on a spare. There's another one. In the sixth frame of the second game, we're in the second half, and Carmen's losing his shirt out there. Oh, my.
You can't give the spook a break like that and not expect him to take advantage of him. He's an explosive type bowler, and the minute you give him one break, away he goes.
Well, he sits on 3, getting their bonus money now. He needs 2 more. St. John is going to be high. Wide open, 4-6. Well, we all know that Jimmy is certainly a better bowler than we're watching here this week. This fella on the tour, starting in 63, won $28,000. In 64, he won $19,000. And on the 65 winter tour, averaged 208 and won close to $14,000. So he is one of the great stars, twice the world's invitational champion. Set records that may never, ever be beaten. Carmen will have to go back over here on the right side, Bill, after that 3-6-10 strike. And I wonder what he'll be thinking. Well, some good action, but nothing touched the 7-pin. You know, the American Cancer Society's slogan is, fight cancer with a checkup and a check. Now, this is the best insurance we have of finding a cure. and ultimately a preventive for this terrible disease. Thank you. Recovery. St. John is now 93 spare as Salvino moves in. Well, there's no doubt about that one, Bill. At 4, now we go into bonus money. Carmen will need this one to start a $250 bonus. This one worth $250. Every strike on top of that worth $50 more. What do you think, Bill?
He's been hitting this lane rather well, so again, I would say he's going to get it.
Up and under. So Mr. Carmen Salvino picks up $250. Nice ball, Carmen.
You said I wouldn't do that in the match, remember?
Let's watch Jimmy St. John in slow motion. Great pin action, Bill.
Well, maybe that'll loosen Jimmy up, and with one more game to go and a big score in the last game, perhaps he could pull his score up to where he'd like to have it. Sometimes all it takes is one hit, as evidenced by Carmen's lucky break in the middle of that string. Of course, he had a bad break in the first game, in the middle of the string.
Well, here's Jimmy again, going left on a strike. How about this?
Good.
Well. That's the St. John that we know. A double for Jimmy. Still can pull out 203 as Salvino moves in on the right on a string of 5. He opened with 181. Finished with 3 open frames the first game. Gotta hurry. Solid 10. And Carmen doesn't understand. I don't understand either. But...
No, I don't either. If all the balls he's rolled today, I'd say that was about the best one I've seen.
Sorry, Carmen. It's part of the game.
The law of averages perhaps took care of him there.
That's the cover. So Salvino now with a spare in the ninth, moving to the left side. All competition, of course, sanctioned by the American Bowling Congress, which means that all competition must be cross 2 lanes. And this is what makes it just a little more difficult, isn't it, Doc?
Yes, it does. They're not, the lanes are not easy. They're good, not easy.
There's another one. Boy, that could be a string a mile long. So Salvino with the first one in the 10th, a chance for 249. He started with a 10-pin, followed with a strike. He was a little light in the 3rd, left the 2-pin, and he's been in there ever since, with the one exception, where he left the 3-6-10, and the pin came out of the pin receptacle and pushed the pins this way. There's another one.
Well, I heard a little thump there again, Fred.
Yeah.
That shows that he's trying to give the ball a forward roll. And he's getting good action on those AMF tournament grade pins off the backboard, the sideboard. He's rolling the ball, evidently.
Little high. He'll settle for 8. 247 for Salvino. Well, great finish. And a solid 10-pin on top of 5 prevented Carmen from picking up additional bonus money. The total is 428. Salvino was 181 and 247. St. John opened with 180. He's had 2 open frames. In this, the second game, there's still a game to go. It's championship bowling from Akron, Ohio, with the world's greatest professional bowling stars. There's another one. Well, I believe you hit the nail on the head, Bill, that now that Carmen broke the ice here with a 5-bagger, it looks like Jimmy has loosened up a little bit.
Yes, sometimes that happens. When one bowler gets going, the other one figures, well, it's time for me to go too, and If he can do it, I can do it.
Jimmy needs this one for 200. Two more will give him 203. Here it comes. There it is. So St. John roaring back. And he has a chance for bonus money here in the 10th frame. Strikes in the 8th and 9th. The first two in the 10th. Both boys can pick up bonus money. And Jimmy needs this one. Well, he's on his favorite side, Bill.
Well, these professional bowlers who belong to the Professional Bowlers Association can come through. Sometimes they look so sick, and then all of a sudden, boom, here they come.
Well, it looks like for $250, Jimmy wants a new rack down there. And the AMF pin spotter, of course, just by pushing a button, will give him exactly what he wants. 10 new AMF pins. It'll probably look a little different to him. They look just the same to most of us, but that's the bowler's privilege. $250 with this strike.
Here he goes.
4 pin. Well, he cranked that one a little bit too much.
Oh,
Bill.
boy.
Look that way.
Yes, he had the courage to give it a little room, but he gave that ball a lot of fingers. He beefed it up real well and left the 4 pin.
I'm going to ask Jimmy right now. Jim, when you have 4 in a row like that, you call for the rack. You feel better when you look at the pins possibly differently?
Well, this is one thing, Freddie. If you see a pin that looks a little bit off, you try to fit the ball. And trying to get the 5th strike in a row there for the bonus money, I didn't want to try to fit the ball. I wanted to roll it, which I did, but I was just a little bit too slow.
Yes, the ball seemed to move at the last moment. We thought you strapped it a little.
Well, I probably did that along with being a little bit too slow, too.
All right, Carmen, we'd like you to explain to us this strike over here on the right side, right in the middle of that string that you took advantage of, as any great champion would. It was quite an unusual thing, wasn't it?
I call that a no-brainer.
That's a no-brainer?
Right.
Well,
Throw the ball rather poorly and come up with a strike on a ball like that. There's got to be a no-brainer.
Well, now, you fellows, of course, worked out for some time before match time. Now that 2 games are in the record books, are you changing anything in the way of lines or angles?
No, I'm not. I'm trying the same line that I played the first game. The first game, my timing was bad, and I was rushing to the foul line a little bit. And I'm playing the exact same line this game. It's shot 240, so it was me, and not the angles or the lane.
Jimmy, you changing anything on the left side?
Well, all I'm trying to change is something to get some strikes, Freddie, and I hope maybe it might work this game.
All right, too bad you left the 4 for the bonus money. We'll be back for the 3rd and final game. It's the 3rd and final game. Carmen Salvino of Chicago out in front with 428. Jimmy St. John, 382. The margin, 46 pins. Salvino throws, in, gets there, and kicks the 4 out. Well, Carmen's had a couple of solid 10s, but I think he's got a couple of kicks that have...
that light hit's working. A real light hit's working extremely well for Carmen. That's the loose ball.
Coming back. So easy. Now Jimmy says, now, 1 too late.
I usually say, sure.
Sure. Well, the boys are off with strikes. We're in the 2nd frame. Salvino with 428 total pins. Very important. These boys will both make another appearance. Total pins for 6 games qualify the 2 top bowlers for the World Series of Championship Bowling. Too high, the 3 and the 6. The World Series of Bowling are 2 top scorers plus the National All-Star champion Dick Weber and the Firestone Tournament of Champions winner Billy Hardwick. So it should be a great finish to championship bowling this year here in Akron, Ohio. The 3 and the 6. Cross lane, St. John. Covered. Has the AMF Spearmaker indicated, and let's see if Salvino can come back with another big one.
Well, he's been pretty solid on 24 the last few times. Must have a good line.
Too far. Way out there. The 1, the 2. Salvino missed a head pin. I believe that's the first time that Carmen has missed the head pin. St. John left the 1-2-8, and then missed the spare. There's the cover, and Carmen wasn't too sure of that one. Looked like that ball was going to go right through with the head pin only, Bill.
It was a overturned, what we call a fudge shot.
A fudge shot.
Fudge. He did it to kill the action, and he almost overdid it.
Solid 10. Carmen Salvino, who does so much after he throws the ball. This is why he's considered the greatest actor on the Professional Bowlers Tour. As a matter of fact, anywhere, wherever he has a bowling ball in his hand.
Carmen likes to say he has two averages, his performing average and his acting average.
There's the cover for Salvino. St. John now, with his back to the wall, trailing by 46 pins. He's not out of this. 5, 6 strikes in a row, and he might snatch this victory away from Carmen Salvino. The winner gets $1,000. There it is. So Jimmy will go left again on a strike.
Well, Jimmy was a little tighter that time. Instead of giving the ball room or belling it, he kept it between the second and third arrows, a little bit tighter than usual, but the ball set in the pocket. And should he get one strike here, I think he could be on his way.
Too high. 3-6-10. About the same spot he was in the second frame. Barely left the 3-6.
Jimmy has certainly experienced difficulty on 23, and it happens to be of two varieties, too light and too high. Of course, we all have this happen to us. This is not an easy spare. One of my most difficult ones, I'm sure.
Well covered by Jimmy St. John, as the AMF Spearmaker indicates. Follow the arrow, put the ball between the 3 and the 6. Here's Salvino. We're in the 4th. He's back there. Another solid 10. There is no justice. Carmen is a former winner of championship bowling. He has a great record over the years for 42 games, which includes 2 700 totals. He's averaging 218 per game. There's the cover. So at 428, Carmen is actually 8 pins under his average for championship bowling. We'll go into the 5th.
Carmen must have a good feel of that ball because he's certainly executing beautiful shots. Oh,
there's a solid 7. Well, a strike in the first frame. Carmen missed a head pin in the second, and he has put 3 balls in that pocket as solid as you possibly could put them in there, and he hasn't carried a one of them. 2 10s and a 7.
His best hit seems to be that, what we call tickler, the very light hit.
The fruit salad.
The fruit salad.
Well, Salvino covers the spare. That gives St. John some life. There's room for Jimmy. He's got to put a few together. A little short. So Jimmy St. John shooting at the 2-5, and the 8 is off the spot. The AMF pin spotter putting it right back off spot, and Jimmy covers it beautifully. Very nice shot. So Jimmy now moves left. This time he's not on a strike. So at the end of 5 for Salvino, it's 77 spare for St. John. 77 spare. We're in the 6th, the final game, and Jimmy is on the nose again, and this time the 3-6. So he's had the 3-6, the 3-6-10, and the 3-6. Made the same mistake 3 times, Bill.
And the mistake the other way leads to 2-4-5, so it looks like 8 and counts about the best he can get it.
Watch it. Oh, he got 3-6 out of there. A spare for St. John. He's 95 spare. Salvino still with a 46-pin lead. We're in the 6th frame. Carmen going in with 428. That'll never get there. Missed the head pin again, the 1-2-4. Boy, he seemed to throw that one a little quickly.
Way ahead of it again. That ball has very little chance to come back when a body is so far ahead of the ball.
Salvino now at the 1, the 2, the 4. This ball should go past the head pin, into the 2, and the cover. You know that many churches are beginning to strongly support bowling and mixed leagues in particular. Now, there aren't too many recreational activities in which parishioners can participate together, but bowling is a wholesome recreational activity. The bowling center, in truth, is really a community center. You can have a lot of fun. There's a Brooklyn on the Joyces. And Carmen putting on the act, hands in. That's the first time he's had his hands in his pocket.
My 10 pins back, I'll give you that back.
Mm-hmm. You'd rather have one of the good hits you lost. Here's St. John in the 7th. On a spare, throws it up, gets there, leads, nothing. Kick that 10 out of there. Jimmy seems to throw that relaxed ball every once in a while, but he can't seem to keep it going.
No, that was a good ball. Even though it was delayed action, he stroked that ball evenly, smoothly. He gave a little room. He came back with authority.
Look out. Almost, but Jimmy's still crowding on the left side. As he says, if he goes another board right, gives it any room at all, he doesn't get there. His ball seems to fail to finish, leaving the 2-5 or 2-4-5. If he gives it anything at all, he's on the nose.
He has
what you call being locked up.
Yeah, very narrow pocket.
Salvino now moving in on the right, his last chance for the big game. He's out in front by 45 pins, and he's on a strike. In the 8th. He missed the head pin again, the 1-2, and he has company. The 1-2-10. This is the 3rd time that Carmen has missed the head pin on the right side.
Well, he should give us a good go because he just made the 1-2-4 and covered it beautifully.
Not enough. He's open. There's still room for St. John to pull this one out. Salvino has been leading all the way. Of course, he gave St. John a great opportunity to catch him. He finished with 3 open frames in the first game. That's too high. There's the 3-6-10.
Well, we've seen that so many times, Fred. Different lane, same bowler. Carmen left the washout at 24, and even though 23 is not even similar to 24, he made an adjustment for what he did on 24, I'm sure.
Careful. On the outside. So Carmen with a spare. Best he can get is 192. St. John, 135 in the 7th. He has a spare in the 8th. Good turn. Solid 10. Better stay on this side, Jim. Jim was all ready to go into the 10th frame.
Oh, how frustrating, huh? Jimmy hasn't been sharp, but certainly a key hit like that could give him some life. would have been appreciated, but fortune is not looking kindly upon Jim St. John.
St. John could have fought that one, Bill, and picked up 2 more in the 10th. He could have forced Salvino to mark. We're in the 10th frame. Championship bowling from Akron, Ohio, where you see the great professional bowling stars in action week after week. Fellows like Dick Weber, Harry Smith, Billy Hardwick, Don Carter, Billy G., Bob Strampy, Ray Bluth, Nelson Burton, Fred Linning, Jack Biondolillo, Dave Sutar, Billy Whalo, just to name a few. The great left-hander, Bill Allen, who was in our audience this week. I believe on one of our shows, Bill, we had Bill Allen from Orlando, California. And you being a Californian,
That's
probably could be a very serious mistake.
Or Florida and California do get along quite well. The bowlers, I mean, from those 2 great states.
Jimmy St. John, an open. No open in this game, closing it off with a strike, 193 without a double. Jimmy had 2 open frames in the second game, and he had 1 open frame in the first game with no doubles. Salvino with a 310, the baby split. Some parts of the country, they call this a Murphy. Well, I'll tell you, Carmen doesn't have too many. If he misses this one, this match is going to end up here very close. But actually, St. John needed the big double. He's got it. 193 for St. John. His total 575. For Salvino, a full count here, 180. We'll give him 608. 607. We'll be back. We'll check these scores to make them official. And, of course, have our presentations in a word or two with these fine 2 professional bowlers. This is Fred Wolf, along with Bill Bonetta. Championship bowling from Akron, Ohio, where the World Series of Golf is played annually. Here are the official results for Jimmy St. John, 180, 202, and 193. His total is 575. For Carmen Salvino, 181, a very fine 247, 179. His total 607. Ladies and gentlemen, did you enjoy this one? Jimmy, I didn't see you applauding at all.
Well, Freddie, I'm glad the audience enjoyed it because I didn't. This Carmen has got a hex on me. I can't beat him.
How many times has this happened?
Well, this is 2 times. The last 2 times I've met him here on Championship Bowling. And, of course, our other tournaments, I don't think I've beat him in 2 years.
Well, of course, I'm just wondering if all of this great acting performance that he puts on bothers you at all, or doesn't it affect you? You don't pay much attention.
No, Carmen's real colorful. It's fun to watch him bowl, but I wish that he would do his good bowling against somebody else and just act against me.
Just act against you. Jimmy, we constantly talked, Bill Bonetta and I, about the fact that you're going over at the left side on a strike most of the time, and that lane just seems to have the best of you. At least it did this week. Maybe next time...
Well, Freddie, I found on lane 23, after I was bowling pretty well on 24, when I got over there, I was moving around just a little bit, and it seemed like the ball would start to hook the minute it hit the lane. And I was scared to give a little bit of room because a couple of times I did, and it slid, and I didn't get back to the headpin. So therefore, I'm always punching the headpin too high.
Well, that keeps you pretty busy. There's the runner-ups here, $500, Jimmy, and I want to talk to my idol.
I didn't think I'd get a
Carmen
chance to
Salvino.
talk. St. John likes to talk a lot.
Well, you did all the bowling, Carmen, and you had your fun out on here. He's got to have some fun. Here's your $1,000 for winning, a $250 bonus, and I thought you were going to string that out a little bit. You left a pretty good hit after 5.
Yes, I left a solid 10. In fact, the last game I left some solid hits, and then after that I started fishing around a little bit, and as a result, I got worse. Should have just stayed in the pocket and take the taps and forget it.
Carmen, thank you very much. You boys will be back for another appearance. Good luck to both of you. Next time, Jim, we'll sharpen it up a little bit.
Thank you,
Jimmy
Freddie.
St. John, Carmen Salvino, ladies and gentlemen. sure hope you can join us here again next week at the Firestone Bowl-O-Rama in Akron, Ohio, when we'll have two more of bowling's top professional stars in a three-game match competing for a prize fund of some $70,000. So speaking for Bill Bonetta and myself, this is Fred Wolf, and keep 'em bowling out there. It's great fun. Matching shirts and slacks used on championship bowling by King Louie. Championship bowling is sanctioned by the American Bowling Congress, and we wish to thank AMF for their cooperation in helping us produce championship bowling.